Hello and welcome back to the STB Racing League Season 19, back at Saudi Arabia for the third time this season. This time, the first time with Tier 3, and this will be a very interesting race as usual. I've watched Tier 1, I've done Tier 2, and now it's time for Tier 3. Arabian is back out on track in the Mercedes for this week as again. So I want to be one of the first cars to set a lap. Just get all the telemetry stuff and map up. See what's going on. And yeah, obviously, back in the come box, me by myself, the infamous Matty, or TRT Mafio. As usual in the come box for the last 19 races in a row. I haven't missed a single week because I'm very committed. As you see Mercury to come across the line, I believe will be the first car to start a lap. Also finish a lap. It's going to be a 28.9. That's what I've seen in Mercury. That's not too bad of a banker for Arabian Mercury. I'm expecting maybe a possible low 28 for this session. We saw high 26s for poles in Tier 1, Tier 2. Actually Tier 2 was faster than Amos Triss, but Amos Triss is pretty much Tier 1 pace. But I think most people are in the low 27s for Tier 2, so it makes sense if we can find maybe a high 27 for Tier 3. Obviously it's going to be expecting it to be about a half second slower naturally, unless something can strike one at the bag. Saudi Arabia, obviously a very awkward track, as you see Torpedo showing us exactly why, and bypass left, second person to leave. Annoying when people just keep disconnecting like this. Bypass disconnected, we had for C-Task disconnect earlier as well. People keep disconnecting right now, it's annoying because if anyone disconnects, in between qualifying the race, it completely screws the whole thing up. I see now they've only a 30.2, so I think you can improve on that. Fresh, the 29.7. It just proves how solid that lap is by Mercury. So, obviously, we come back in. Strategy around here is a very simple soft to mediums. 9 to 10 laps on a set of softs, and then 15 to 16 laps on a set of mediums, or the alternate strategy, 50 laps on the mediums and 10 laps on the softs. So very simple in terms of strategy, unless there's a safety car in play. The softs can probably do about 12 laps, and the mediums can probably do about 20. But whether we actually need to do anything like that, I don't know. Parallels, I think, to run out of fuel. I don't get how people run out of fuel in qualifying. It doesn't make any sense. Think of why you would do that. Could you just cost yourself more time to do more laps? Let's see, Torpedo on the mediums. Mazepin slaps in a lap time with a 28.4, so it's just slowly getting closer as Torpedo just decides I don't want to hit the apex. Peel off and disqualified for just blocking the pit lane entry. What? How do you even manage that? How do you manage? I really don't get it. And it's just put him down to dead last. It's not like he set lap anyway. So Maldi's on another lap here. And he's validated. He's going for a long run on these mediums here, his softs here. I wonder if he's doing a bit of a no, if he went on the mediums, I don't think he'll be doing these laps. Because I don't see how he's going to beat that lap on the same mediums. The mediums is quite a considerably slower tyre in terms of one lap pace, about a second a lap slower. That usual big gap between that C4 and C3 compound. Which is very often to see with these tracks that use those 3 middle compounds. And that massive gap between those two compounds, C4 and C3, is why you don't see them get used in tracks like Mexico and Abu Dhabi. Actually, not Mexico, sorry, just Abu Dhabi. Mexico actually uses the three soft, the medium, the three middle compounds. That I forgot about. Actually, I'm not so sure. Oh well. But yeah, Mazepin still continue up there with a 28.4, so it's a great lap by him. Mercury's got to do another lap. Try and beat that. Boulange. Try and find his Alpha Tauri. This is an outlap Alpha. Next person's set lap will be Boulange. And he's invalidated, so that's his lap over and done with. He might go for another lap, but we do not know. Woozy Donut. I think it's a Red Bull. That's Tovar start lap. And the McLaren, I think that's Torpedo. On, so meaning he's 5 seconds down, so he's coming into the pits, I believe. Yeah. Trying to find somebody on the lap here. Mercury, let's stay on board of him. Let's see if he can improve into sector 1. Sector 1 is where most of the time is gain and lost. Just done that relatively smooth and cleanly. He's missed that apex there, it's hurting for this corner, but he seems to cope it quite well. He's hogging that corner nicely, and he's going to run wide. Oh, he just about kicked it within the track limits. It's so easy to run wide there. He didn't quite get the car rotated in. Mercury takes more of a wider line through there, and then strains out the exit a little bit more. Some people like me, like to throw the car in as early as possible, and then let the car rotate around the corner. So different lines being taken, and this corner cut is so easy to do so for that corner. It's so tempting, because if you're carrying too much speed for the right-hander, you've got to turn left as quickly as possible without corner cutting, otherwise you're going to whack into the barrier on the right. So you've got to be careful, and that's just Mercury being a bit contented, not wanting to hit the barrier, and Woozy Donut is corner cutted, but I think that was he's already just done his lap anyway with a 29.4, so it's a relatively decent lap. So right now I'm expecting a couple more people to get into the 29s. We know this tier 3 is got quite a broad range in terms of pace lap times. So we've got Torpedo on the mediums, but we've seen Santa's only on the 24, on the 34, and we've got people like Alpha and Pete on the 30s, and you've got people like Maldi and Viper and Fresh, and then Rivera on the 29s, and you've got Mercury and the Mazepin in the 28s. So the big variation in terms of lap times. The table also set to 30 as well, just to prove that. C-tests invalidated. Again, it's just so easy to do so. Just one little misjudgment, and that's it. You're going wide, or you're going to corner cut, or you're going to clip a barrier, and the end plate disappears into the distance. If I can just find my phone, there it is. Let's see if Fresh is on the lap. He's invalidated as well. Trying to find somebody that's not invalidated. Maldi's 4 tenths up. He's starting, and he's validated turn 1. Nice one, Maldi. Nice one. That's what you want to do, is to corner cut on the first corner, because then you got to do a whole lap. Because you can't even compare, because you don't want to push on these tyres if you're just invalidated. You don't want to push them, so he kind of makes it irrelevant anyway. I'm going to double check the stream to make sure it's all good in a hood. We've had some previous experiences before. Make sure it's all clean. So, right, got to do another lap. Boulange is out there as well. Stay on board with him. Extreme looks all good to my side. Boulange navigating that quick chicane relatively good. Probably one of the better times, just one of the better chicanes I've seen so far in this qualifying session. Weaving through these very questionable corners. He's ran wide, and in the validators you have to keep at least 2 of those wheels on that red and white stuff, and he's weaving. I'm not sure if that's a weaving in terms of annoyance, irritation, or he's just don't even know, to be honest. Doing now. Unless he's gonna go for another lap on his tyres, and he's using the slipstream. I don't know. Torpedoes on a set of softs now because his brakes glowing in the night. In the street lights, and he's gone wide. I think you can see him slamming the brakes. He didn't want to invalidate it. She got away with that. I can't believe she got away with that one. That's questionable. Oh, and he's gone wide. The mistakes is unreal on this lap. Boulard just crashed out at turn 2 somehow. Not really cool when I see people crash on very much. There's no one really behind him apart from Ferrari and Mazepin. It's coming up to now, but I think Mercedes has been cleared out. It has. So Mazepin sets the fast lap. That's improved his lap time at 8/10 of a gap. It's just there's no Alpha to. Not Alpha, sorry, Artem to challenge him, and Fresh seems to be struggling. 1.6 seconds down on his fellow Russian teammate. Not Russian. Well, can't find the word now. Countryman. Bremlinson's on the left of the session. Oliveira. Oh, a little bit of a moment through turn 3. Weaving through this twist section, so difficult to get right, but Oliveira is really getting his nails. He's clipping his corners very nicely. It's very smooth on his steering inputs. He's not pushing it too hard, but it's just nice and smooth. He's a 1/10.5 up. That was a very clean and very sensible and very smart first sector that was. Drifting up nicely wide. Carry as much speed as possible. Try to use the shortest route possible. Oh, it's a little bit cliffy there, kind of a little bit of a slide, but it's done it nicely, and that's just about scrubbing as little speed as possible. Not using all the track, he's not deciding to use those red and white curbs. Oh, he's backing off. Okay, I'm questionable. I'm not sure why. He's been pushing for that whole lap. That's in Martin, that's Ruzi. Papa Devil's unfortunately not able to race today. I think he's saying he's a bit. I think you remember well. He's saying he's feeling a bit ill as the deployment runs out. People seem to run out of deployment towards the end of the lap here at this track. Very in qualifying anyway. It's very harsh on its ERS, and the race is actually too bad because there's not many places you really want to use overtake because it's just a flowing fast section. Realistically, most time you use overtake is for overtakes and coming out of slower corners to get the acceleration up. So the only real places you really want to use overtake around this track is probably out of the last corner. That's really it, to be honest. You might want to use a bit out of the where the McLaren is in sector 2. I believe that's Torpedo. No, it's not, it's Hybrid. It's another place where you might use a little bit of overtake just to get a bit of speed advantage down here. Apart from that, I don't really want to use overtake anywhere else. You just want to use it for overtaking. So it's quite easy to save around here. As Bremlinson's having trouble joining the lobby. The message has been sent, so just got my phone on charge because it's on 4%. Bremlinson's joined again. But not be doing this too often because if he's going to bug out the lobby if he's not careful. Still got Andrade and Sergio, both Alfa Romeo set a lap. It doesn't look like Sergio's going to be able to do a lap here. I don't think he's come out the circuit yet. I haven't seen him out. Not from my own eyes anyway. The McLaren gets nicely out of the way. That's how it should have been done. Not the way it was done against me yesterday. Titas starting his lap now. He's done a 29.2 so far. So looking to improve in that. That stars looks very nice off board. He's hugging that apex. Oh no, he's lost him and he's into the barriers. And it's just you have to really try and use it. And Mercury's got a penalty for collision with Maldi. and Mercury's not going to be happy with that. And Maldi's lost his front wing. What is going on here with the two? I don't know what's happened there. Maldi's lost his front wing. Maldi can't improve on that. I don't know what happened here. There's miscommunication here. And Mercury's slowed down as well. I don't know why he's not continuing the lap anyway. It's run out of time. I don't think he'll make it. I think what's going on. I don't know if Mercury's doing it to give Maldi slipstream or something. Can Maldi hit the back of him or something? I really don't know what happened there. But Mercury's got a 5-place grid penalty, and that'll drop him down to P8. For coincidentally, right in front of Maldi. So they'll not crash it in the start of the race either. Hopefully they'll do a restart for the lobby, because that's the thing I don't want to do, is to do another restart of the lobby. But that is qualifying over for Cetas. Damage on the front wing. In fact, he's lost the whole front wing now. He's retired, and there you go. So a very quite controversial end to qualifying there for Cetas. Bit of an incident in the first sector, having a bit of oversteer, quick front wing, and then Mercury Maldi clashing towards the last corner in the DRS zone. No clue what happened. It's both of Maldi and Mercury both have 5-place grid penalties. That's going to hurt them both. That's a dominating pole position by Mazepin, and that's why he is the championship leader. I don't even know what the championship is right now. I might even search it up, but he is in pole position and 6/10, well, he's 7/10 ahead of his Russian counterpart, I don't even know, companion Fresh, Mercury in P3, P4, Facetas P5, Luigi Donut P6, Oliveira 2P7, Flavio P8, Melody P9, and Alpha P10. And P9, 11 to P18, I have absolutely no clue. Let's see if we can get access to it, but Discord's been a bit funny during the last half an hour, 45 minutes. So, pardon me. So I wonder if I can get it up. But yeah, it was definitely a very interesting end to the qualifying session there. Mercury and Maldi both getting 5 grid penalties. And a couple of little incidents then. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Let's look at the standings here. Yeah, they are updated. So we've got Fresh on 215 points. We've got 3 races to go. 2 races to go after this race, but 3 races to go, including this one. 215 points for Fresh. Mazepin's on 201, and Maldi's on 158. But it's still mathematically in it. But 50 points to try and gain back is going to be difficult. So realistically, it's out of Mazepin and Fresh, and they're starting P1 and 2. So, and there's 14 points split behind them. But I believe Mazepin's had more victories than Fresh. Mazepin's had 4 victories compared to Fresh's 2. So that will also be taken into place if there is some equaling points. So that is your lobby. Obviously got Maldi, Artem, Lucas, Drulos, Viper, Pete, Matador, and the captain bag for the top 10 positions. Obviously Drulos and Matador are both not racing, and Pierre Lucas and Artem's also not racing. So we've got 4 people out of the top 10 in the championship standings not actually racing tonight. So that will lead to help some people below to try and catch back up. And well, the thing is, Maldi's qualified in the top 10, but because of the 5-place group penalty, he can't start on the medium tyre. So he's going to be hoping for an early safety car so he can get rid of those tyres, because he doesn't want to be on those tyres that far back. And there's a strategy: 1 stop onto the mediums, preferably lap 9 or 10. Pit lap 9 would be the best for people on the warm softs. But this is going to be a very fascinating race to see how these tier 3 drivers get around in this very twisty technical section. I don't know how much slower they want to go. I don't know why Boulon's just so far behind. Surely he's going to get penalised for it. It's P16, not even last. Yeah, I really don't know what he's doing there. So Pirlo as well. So fresh lineup. P1 again ahead of his Russian counterpart, and Maldi's been disqualified with Andrade. So yeah, Fresh and Mazepin both fighting for the championship, both Russian. And the two main people really fighting for the championship now. He's going to be lined up in a good position there for P3. For Cetas, on a set of mediums, P4. Obviously gained one position with Mercury's penalty. Bluesy Donut P5, Oliver P6, Blacker P7, Mercury P8, Alpha P9, Tovar P10, Torpedo would be P11, Hybrid P12, Andrade would be P13, Mali P14 with his penalty, Sand would be P15. Boulan's just coming to his spot about 5 minutes later. Mazepin's tyres are going off, Mazepin and his engine's going to get hot. Sergio P17 and Pirlo at the back in P18. He's waiting for the lights to come off now. It's 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. It's lights out, and away we go for the first ever Tier 3 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix out of Alfa Romeo, weaving into the side of Aston Martin, I believe. And as to navigate through turn 1 pretty cleanly, there's 3 wide sections here, and here's a bit of contact. Nothing seems to be dramatic. No real collisions looking at the back, no real red flags as people navigate their way through. A lot of people trying to find a way through. There's some end plates flying off. There's a Haas and an AlphaTauri going wide. It's Viper and the Rivera. Viper's got front wing damage. Maldi's going to be careful. It's going to be so slow for this section. Maldi's trying to navigate his way through, quite can't do it. Mercury's trying to get round the outside of Alpha, but it's just not going to be worth the risk. So yeah, as Mazepin continues to lead the way, Fresh will follow him through P2. Relatively clean start. Cetas is going to be patient on those mediums, so he's going to be quite a bit slower for these next few laps. This bit hard mediums are about a second slower, but by about lap 8, those mediums will definitely come into play. And yeah, you will get undercutters, but he'll be so quick on those shots towards the end. Just needs to keep up with Fresh Mazepin. If you can do that, then it's only going to really give him the victory, really. Lots of position changes going on here as people sit streaming, and side by side as Hybrid gets past Olivia. It's Oliveira. Is it Olivier? Olivier? It's not. I don't sound English. It's not Oliver. It's not Oliveira, and he has come to the pits because he must have damage. So he's one of the people who's got damage. Viper's also we saw Viper with damage earlier, and there's a spot near the top here. It's Bruisey Donuts losing out, trying to get past for Cetas. Cetas managed to hold it, and that's just medium's just not quite giving the grip he needs. It's got to play the long game on these mediums, and he uses master of all techniques to get around that section. He's lost DRS on the Fresh. So if he wants to get back in DRS, he's got to catch up to Fresh, but on those mediums, it's going to be almost physically impossible. Now just trying to navigate his way past. Tovar has been a clash. Alpha's round. Alpha is round. He's going to be careful, doesn't make it for him. He's going to do a 4-point turn, and he's facing the wrong way. He's managed to get his car back in, but he's lost many positions. Mercury's up into P6 after all that. Maldi's up into P8, so Maldi's got many places. So yeah, Maldi's getting 6 places, so Sergio's getting 6 places. Mercury's getting 2, Alpha Tovar's getting 3. So lots of good starts, but also lots of bad starts, mainly because of damage. And the 2 people not to change positions is the top 2. Different lines taken there between the 2 Russian drivers. Fresh going for more of a tighter early apex, and Mazepin's going for a bit more of a open out, get the exit traction, hold up the line. Fresh actually sets a fast lap here, so he is looking a bit faster than Mazepin right now. DRS is now enabled, as it's now lap 3. And it's side by side with Bruisey Donut and for Cetas. Side by side for Cetas, obviously trying to defend the wall on his mediums. He's got off the force here. Bruisey Donut has to give up the position. It's just not a place he can overtake, and Andrade has been set a penalty. Oh! What happened there with Bruisey Donut looking very bit of a moment. He's lost a few hundredths of a second. He's gone wide there. It's probably going to be a warning. And now Mercury is nibbling down on him. He's looking to get past. I mean, Pete's not had an amazing start. He's lost 2 places off the start. He's got McLaren in the pits. It's hybrid. And then there's some more flags going on here. Not sure what's going on with a Ferrari and a Red Bull of Alpha after his little collision earlier. Actually, I think it might be Andrade must have had a moment because both of them have DRS ahead of him. So Andrade was ahead of them before the DRS point, which means he was ahead. Now he's got 3 seconds to catch up to these leaders here. He's got to find his pace if he wants to catch him up. Obviously, he doesn't have slipstreams, so it's going to be difficult to catch him up. Obviously, going to gain a bit through the corners, but he's just going to lose more time down the straight. As Mazepin continues to lead the way, Fresh following him closely. Cetas is just about holding Peter. No, he's not. He's hit the barriers, and that's surely giving him wing damage. And into the pits he goes. Yeah, he completely overshot that, and that's ruined his alternate strategy. He's having to commit now to a possible soft strategy, or going to the hards to the end. And what he's doing is going to a set of softs. So he's going to do a soft probably here. He's got to hope now there's going to be a safety car to gain his buses back. So that promotes Rudy Donut and Pete up into 3rd and 4th respectively, as well as everyone else behind them. Torpedo's also in the pits, must have damage as well, so that's 2 CRS guys. Also front wing damage, and so Andrade must also have damage, and lots of people getting damage on that last lap. In fact, he hasn't even the wing. Oh, he does have. I don't know. I think he actually lost his whole wing. Actually, side by side with Viper and Olivier. That's just how he rounds. His Viper's got through on the Haas driver. As Mercury's looking very close to the back of Pete. He's making the move early. He's going to try to make his move stick, but Mercury needs to be careful. He makes sure he needs to have DRS coming to his next straight, which he won't because he's only 1.3 seconds behind. And he won't have DRS coming down here, but I wonder if he's done that. Pete will re-overtake him, and then Mercury will get DRS on the next straight. Pete's comes blasted past, but I think he realises that Mercury will have DRS down the next straight. So, and Mercury just doesn't need to hit the barrier, so that's awfully close to yellow flag. And that's Boulange, that's Mercury's teammate, spun at the chicane, just at that chicane just after the banked hairpin. Mercury's looking to DRS back up the inside. He's not really got the move done, to be honest. And Mercury's slivered it up the inside. They're still side by side coming through turn 2. Mercury will have the inside for turn 3, and he's got the position done. And he would have the racing line coming to turn 4 anyway. So Mercury up into P4. It's going to have to chase after Woozy Donut, which has just gained about 2 tenths for here. You can see the hesitation. He multiple jabs the steering wheel there, and you know what? Lap 5, and only one person's got penalty. This is going really well in terms of penalties right now. It's doing very well in terms of penalties, these 2-3 drivers. Very well compared to, I don't know, someone like Dan Sude who had like 9 seconds after like 10 laps. That's a Ferrari as well, that's Pirlo. Don't be doing too many of them. Mercury's got within DRS range of Woozy Donut as Pete's using him to drag him along. So Pete's following Mercury behind and going to use Mercury to catch up to Woozy Donut, and then hopefully Pete can maybe overtake a Woozy Donut himself. Tovar's out. Tovar's out. He's crashed at the right double right kink, and there's a safety car. And I think this might be possibly the time to go into set of softs. Not sort of softs, sorry, sort of mediums to the end. So that safety car, I think it's going to happen at some point. Rinaldi goes very slow. I think it's just to make sure he doesn't get held up by his teammate. But I think Fresh is just about ahead enough anyway. And there's the tyres change from Rinaldi. On to certain mediums. Get those tyres back up. Yeah, medium compounds for all of them. But a good time to see to the pit, obviously. I'm setting mediums himself. He's set hard. Interesting. Very interesting. Olivier and Viper stay out. I mean, they do have probably should have another set of mediums if they didn't use it in qualifying. Unless they want to just stay on the mediums and go on softs towards the end, but they're still only P8 and P9, and yet might still have to make another pit stop. I mean, they probably make its tyres go to the end, but it's just pushing it a little bit there in terms of tyres. Pirlo's retired as well. When did that happen? Pirlo's also out. I'm not sure when that happens or where it happens, but it is another retirement. So that's your second retirement within a lap. So that's been waiting for him to bring back up under the safety car. This now puts Mercury right behind the leaders, and this will just get him back. It's just a little bit of revenge with the incident qualifying. Baldi would get the same. Baldi was a bit behind these guys. He was about 3 or 4 seconds behind them. Now he's cut back up. Can use that to try and overtake them. Might need at least one more lap of the safety car, depending on how long it takes Hybrid to get round. Certainly help the Boulange and Sant and Hybrid to catch back up here. But I don't want to use his tyres too harshly as well. You don't want to burn them out too much during the safety car period. Hybrid's actually low on fuel, so this will help him considerably compared to other people who save a bit of fuel. Side Hybrid's actually not too bad in terms of fuel in the game. You don't actually lose any fuel at all during this race. You can actually afford to use very, very low fuel. And Andrew's got a 5-second penalty for severe collision with torpedo under the safety car. Obviously, has got a corner cutting penalty under the safety car. Why are you cutting corners under the safety car? Oh! And Andrew just lost his whole front wing. And Alpha's got a 5-second penalty as well. There's brake checking going on here. And if anyone has any drive-through penalties, and he's cutting corners now. He's taking himself out. He's taking himself out. And why does Saint just slow down to a halt? And Boulange, I believe, just got damage out of it. I really don't know why Saint went completely to a halt. Didn't need to. The thing is now, because they're all caught in the safety car will come in this lap. And they won't get a chance to fix their wing for free. I don't know if that's what Facilitas is doing. He's just keeping it backed up, hoping the safety car doesn't come in. Doesn't look like he will. If he can play this properly, we can play the game as Boulange just breezes past them, and he's got illegal overtakes. Safety car is in this lap. Safety car is in this lap. So the tactic hasn't worked. The tactic hasn't worked. We need to get back to Mazepin. It's a very, very late call by Michael Massey. Has got a 5-second place grip penalty for ignoring yellow flags, and off they go again. Mazepin leads the way down to turn 1, fresh, looking to make a move. Mercury also sniffing out. Pete's been a little bit caught out there, and Facilitas also got 5 place grip penalty when that's a retirement for the AlphaTauri driver. And there's more yellow flags. Boulange's got a time penalty. Oliveira is in the barriers, and the Mercedes of Boulange is out. I'm not sure whether that was intentional. There's no safety car. It was cleaned up way too quickly. So the race will continue, which is a good thing on my end. So Mazepin continues to lead the way. So Mercury's getting awfully close to the back of Fresh here. Oh, Fresh has made a mistake. Seems relatively intentional, I think, but Mercury is very under. Fresh thinks I'm not quick as Mazepin here, so if Mercury's faster, then I might use him as a bit of a buffer to get back up to the back of Mazepin. So we'll keep an eye on that. We've got back here, we've got Woozy Donuts. Get a bit close to the back of Pete, but nothing. Oh! And I think that might just be Woozy Donut braking a bit late there. It almost looked like that could have been a big whack into the back of Pete there. He didn't get the car slowed down in time. Luckily he did. No front wing damage taken in the end for that. There's Mercury losing time to Mazepin here. He needs to find some time to keep getting the DRS off the Ferrari driver. It's just got it. It's using an overtake to do so. Mazepin's used something of his own to try and pull that DRS gap, but it doesn't look like it seemed to work. Mercury's just using a bit of his. They'll give it a bit 9/10. The gap's pretty much identical between P1, P2 and P3. And you can only see P4 as well, as Woozy Donut's still sniffing the back of that car. Maldi's following it close behind. Just watching off his DRS, Maldi is. Just waiting for the right man to pounce. Wait for DRS to get enabled. Woozy Donut lucky to make a move. These guys are keeping it These guys are keeping up with Mazepin and Fresh and Mercury very well so far. Leaders are not pulling away like they did earlier on. But it's not like they're flown away. So the races could be anyone's right now, and there's a crash at the back. It's at the turn in Riviera. Must have had a pit stop after that collision on the safety car, and he's spun again at the fast kink of chicane, I like to call it, after the banked DRS corner, banked hairpin. As I just come up to it now. Mercury's lost DRS on Mazepin. Mercury's just really struggling through that first sector. I mean, I think this is Mercury's first ever day touching this track. He doesn't really play the game much. He barely touches it at all, apart from when he comes to the yards races here. This is his first time doing this track, so, well, fair enough to him. But he needs to try and find that gap. He's just losing time right now. He's using a lot of overtake to do so, but he just doesn't have the pace, and he's missed the apex there. He's losing more time now, and Mercury's victory hopes are slowly sliding away. Fresh is also unable to keep up with Mercury, so they're kind of separating quite a lot here. Pete's not close to making a move, but his DRS will help him close up to the back of him. Fresh is under fire here. His championship lead is going to be hurt badly here if he doesn't pick up his pace, because there's 14 points between them, and that's going to be 11 points he will lose to Mazepin right now, because he's got the fastest lap. And Mazepin and Fresh is, if he loses his position, they'll be identical on points. Live amount of points, identical points if he loses his position. So he needs to fall. Actually, he'll still be 1 point ahead if my calculations are correct, so I'm wrong. But yeah, Mercury's just not quite capable. Fresh is well, he has no pace at all anymore. He's creating an absolute train here. Fresh has got no pace at all compared to the other two. Mercury's just still unable to keep up with Mazepin, but he's not falling off like Mazepin is. Mazepin, he just looks like, oh, he's touched the barriers. He just doesn't look very comfortable right now. He doesn't look like he's at one with the track. And his qualifying pace didn't really show it either, to be honest. Still being 6 tenths off Mazepin. This donut's looking a bit woozly on the internet side, a bit funny, he is. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just saying it can be a little unpredictable. And he's making a move now. He's got to be careful because Fresh will have DRS coming down the next straight. Which he will. And he'll use that to get back past the Aston Martin driver. The Aston Martin driver's used all of his ERS up, so he's going to be sit and duck on the straights as he breezes back past Aston Martin. Aston Martin not playing it very smartly there. Losing that position again, so all that just like losing position again. Mercury lost lots of time. He's failing to keep up with Mazepin right now. Fresh is still losing time. There's Breezy Donut, that's penalty. So it's good news for somebody like Fresh and Pete. As they'll do the penalty. See what I mean? Breezy Donut's a little bit, it's a bit laggy. It just looks like he's a bit closer to the barriers than he should be. And there's kind of a bit of a DRS train here. We've got Maldi and Sergio and Viper. And Pete just can't really fight because they're all just DRSing each other and they can't really find a way through. And the only people who can fight is the two people that are leaving the train. As the person ahead does not have DRS. And I wonder if Breezy Donut's learned his lesson here. No, he's still going to try and go for the move. He's still going for the move, and Mercury's lost another 7 tenths to Mazepin here. Mercury's got no pace at all now. It's Mercury's time to lose all that pace, and Mazepin got... He's doing it, he's not going to have DRS again, and Fresh is just going to go past him. What he's doing is not learning his lesson from the first time. And just going to get breezed past again. That's twice now he's done that, and he's almost hitting the back of him. He's got to be careful. Doesn't want to pick up any damage or necessary penalties. Pete's just looking on, Maldi's looking on, Sergio's having to look on as well, and so is Viper. Can't do anything. Viper's on disadvantage here. He's got a bit more worn tyres, he's got to be careful. He's going to take too much life out of them under that very, very dirty air. He's following about 6 cars here, very, very closely. Pete goes a bit wide. Maldi's actually out of DRS here. Maldi's actually broken up this DRS train to 2 smaller trains now. Maldi's pace is looking a bit weak. But he needs to somehow find out some time. He's got plenty of DRS, he needs to use it. If he wants to get back in DRS here, why is he not using his overtake? In fact, here he comes, down for a mare, looking very close. Maldi's just hanging in there. He's not using any of his DRS at all. Why he's not using any of his DRS? Sergio's going to breeze past him, but Maldi knows there's another DRS zone coming up that he can use. Just didn't mess the corner up like he just did there. And he's looking a bit too far back to really make an overtaking manoeuvre. Maldi, let's get to the pits. Why is Maldi pitting? Is Maldi going to go into softs here? Is this a strategy call? No, he's got front wing damage. He's got front wing damage. Why is he not pitted for the softs though? Unless he had another fresh air softs. I think they would have gone to the softs. So that's Maldi's race over and done with. In the dishwasher he goes. Never to be seen for another couple more days. Mercury's actually caught up a little bit here, but Fresh is now caught back up here. See, Mercury was the one quicker, keeping up Mazepin, and then suddenly Mercury's the one going slower, and Fresh is actually the one picking up a bit of pace and got closer. So, a kind of different phases where Mercury was actually quite quick, and then he's dropped off. Fresh was quite slow, now picked up. Now Mercury's just found a bit of pace again, but it's too late now because Fresh is, well, back in DRS range of the Mercedes driver. Smart. Fresh doesn't have much DRS left, but the DRS is very powerful down the straight. It's a very long DRS string, and since it's a corner, it just scrubs a little bit. It helps you scrub that speed off a little bit easier, as the DRS is not quite scrubbing the tyres as it normally would. So it looks like it's very close to make a move, but it definitely looks like he's trying to set up the one. He's going to look to up the inside. Oh, he's thought about it, but didn't actually end up committing to the move. Looks like he's going to sit around for another lap. That's Mercury actually closing in a bit here. It's a bit wide. It's so uncomfortable just watching people go through that corner. You just don't know whether they're going to go wide or not. Very easy corners to get a penalty, as approved there by Titas. Papino's in the pits, I believe, for front wing change himself. Again, not onto a set of softs. That 15, this is prime time to put a set of softs on. Unless everyone's already used their softs up. That's another question. Nevertheless, I should still get to the end. That gap staying around 2 seconds to Mazepin from Mercury, sorry. Fresh is awfully close, but he's got no overtake left at all. He's used all of it up. And he doesn't want to give the pace up. Mercury has to continue going as Fresh decides not to overtake. He's doing what Boozy Donut should be doing and not overtaking. That's Boozy Donut's actually lost a lot of time. He's actually pitting. I wonder if that's front wing damage for the Aston Martin driver. I wonder why he's lost so much time. Front wing damage as Fresh gets past Mercury. And that position has swapped, which I didn't think would happen. That gap's now 2.6 seconds for Fresh from Mazepin, and that's just gonna. As Mercury has a bit of a nice juicy taste of that dirty air, you can see it missing the apex, and that's a corner cut there. Just gotta be careful, you've got to be a bit cautious when following closely. EOS open for the Mercedes driver, not really overtaking move. Sergio picks up a penalty, and Marley's in the pits again for another front wing change and another set. Why has he gone to set of mediums that have done 8 laps? Why has he not gone to the softs? Is this a glitch where he just doesn't put it in the right tyre? He's playing to 8 lap old mediums. I really don't know what's going on with Marley's strategy right now. It doesn't seem to be getting thrown out the window at this rate. As Fresh is not really catching up to Mazepin here. As Mercury's, well, I think that move done already before the last corner, but I think Mercury might do a bit of a dummy move here, possibly. No, he does go wide, but Fresh is not having any of it, and now they've just cost each other time by doing so. Mercury tried to play it smart, but ended up playing it dumb by doing that. As Fresh is too smart to figure that one out, and actually they cost each other time doing that. So just doing this by playing games with each other. They're just losing more time. You just lost another 3/10 by doing that. So you can't keep doing this. And Sergio's in the pits and Viper's in the pits. It's just more from changes with so many people hitting the barriers. People just getting damage after damage, damage and damage and damage here. I really don't know what's going on right now. I feel like we need a safety car right now. It feels like a good time to have a safety car. As Torpedo actually gets lapped by Mazepin. You don't want to go that close to the barriers there on the inside Torpedo. So the camber changes if you go onto the inside curb. Well, on the inside of the curb, it changes the camber and then you just spin out. Especially in the earlier section of that corner. Gap not 3.2. Mercury needs to play this smart if he wants to try and somehow find that gap again. And so will Fresh. So I really don't know what's going on there, how they're going to play this out. Fresh has gained a little bit of the ice back. Marty's just slowly catching him up, but I don't think he's really willing to make an overtake here. Yeah, Fresh doesn't think about it, doesn't want to leave more time to this, to Mazepin right now. Mercury's now looking to get overtake. Fresh is not really using any overtake, he doesn't have much ES left anyway, and it will be a simple overtake for Mercury. Will gain a bit of time doing so in terms of Mazepin actually loses a couple of tenths there and navigate through that corner for turn 1 and turn 2, and it's kind of like a settled commentary right now. Nothing hectic, the point where I can raise a voice, but nothing like dull enough to just be sitting there just going like this and just talking, but not really doing much at all. Pete's not quite keeping up with these top 3 drivers. Mercury's gonna have to use his Facetas. But Facetas just breeze through on a set of softs. He's faster than these guys. Actually, this is going to help Mercury in this, because he's going to give him DRS. If Mercury can just use Facetas as a bit of a DRS source slipstream sort of thing, this could work out really well. Because it's just going to help Mercury catch back up to Mazepin here. It's going to give him a couple tenths. So, it's actually favouring the Mercedes driver. It's helping claw that a couple of tenths here. And he pits the McLaren and goes. That's hybrid. Will that add more damage? Surely not. Surely not, it'd be more damage. Oh, somebody just Pete's retired. Okay, I'm not sure what hybrid was doing in the pit, so. More front wing changes. There's 7 laps to go, including this one. Gaps come down to 2.3. Mercury unable to keep up with Facetas. Facetas knows fresh softs. You know, Facetas is not exactly a slow driver in this tier 3. Mercury's unable to keep up with him, to use him as a bit of a DRS slipstream. He does have a couple of DRSs using him anyway, but the thing is, when he comes up to the back of Mazepin, he will get the same effect. In fact, he will get to it because he's catching up to the back of hybrid here, and he will get DRS off hybrid. So Mazepin will have his own juicy little dart of DRS, which he actually doesn't. Not quite close enough. I wonder if he's using some of that air take just to hopefully try and get close enough. So now Vitali for Facetas catching him up, trying to unnap himself, and that's why it's by the McLaren. That's going to give Mazepin some DRS here to help him get closer and actually pull away from Mercury, as the McLaren actually lets him through, which then Facetas gets past hybrid, which inside each other now, Facetas and Mazepin. Oh, and this is going to hurt Mazepin a lot. He's got to follow the ghost here, and that's going to be distracting. Facetas just lets this Mazepin through. We didn't realise he just lost the position to Facetas, but I don't think Santa's really got the pace to really even think about defending Facetas anyway. Probably like Santa's exactly quickest driver here. Facetas is actually one of the quicker drivers in this lobby, so naturally that's how it goes. But Mazepin will get more DARPA DRS if he keeps up with Facetas in this section, which undoubtedly the soft will be insanely quick. Mercury's got to get down 2 seconds and he hits the barrier. Can't be doing too many of them. All these 52 seconds off. Oh no, it's close. Dropped down now to 53, 33. Still a massive gap anyway. Fresh can pit, fresh set of softs. Actually, do a fresh stop. I think he went to fresh pit. Why is he pit? Did he not think this soft means it's the end? Well, he's just lost a podium here now. Because somehow get past 5 per Sergio and Donut, well, also on relatively fresh softs. So it'd be interesting to see how far the fresh gets through this. Mercury has a penalty, but Mazepin doesn't, and that's, I think, what's sealing a deal for Mercury. Mercury doesn't look like he's going to be winning this race. Mazepin looks like he has this in the bag, which is just going to extend his championship lead quite considerably now because of Fresh's pit stop. It's dropped Fresh back even further down. At this rate, Fresh are only getting 6, now 7, now 8 points. Mazepin will get 28, so by the time it comes into it, it's increased that point lead by a good another 13 seconds. And that gap will come up to about 28 points in the championship between the two drivers. Actually, Fresh is leading to. So the other way around. So Fresh finishes P1, or if you can get past Weezy Donut and Sergio, that's 13 points. Mazepin also has the fastest lap, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That's where C-Test got it. That could be, well, that could be a 1 point, if not equal in points at the end of this race. With 2 races to go. Next race is Abu Dhabi, then Brazil. We've been swapped around in terms of the real life calendar. So it'd be interesting to see how they get on there to keep that championship battle going. So I'm getting a bit tired since I've been awake since 5 o'clock this morning. Just like it's been for the last 3 days. So yeah, this race is really sad down now. There's no one within DRS of each other. This is, according to Maldi, this race is nothing compared to what it was Tier 2 apparently yesterday, which was probably one of the best races of Tier 2 last season. Well, this season I should say, I said last season. Yeah, there's nothing much going on now. People made very unorthodox pit stops. Strategy's not really making much sense right now. Like Maldi going so one set of softs. He just hit the barriers. I wonder why he's getting damaged if he's doing that. Viper's had his billionth penalty. I swear he's had about 7 or 8 now. Vitas gets one as well, but it's not really going to hurt his position. He's not even going to finish the points this rate. There is just about coming towards 3 laps to go after this lap. Mazepin coming in his lead. Mercury's now 7.2 seconds behind. He's got no pace at all compared to Mazepin. Mazepin's just charging away. So Mercury, it looks like victory over for him. Looks like it's probably over for him about 7-8 laps ago. Who's doing that's just holding on to P4 here over Sergio, but also got a what chance going to come down to penalties here, especially from people from Mercury all the way down to pretty much Viper. Anything can happen. These guys could completely swap positions here. But it wasn't like Fresh is really making a new game, not making it inroads. And Sergio here, Sergio looks like he made a mistake there. The Fresh has gained about 2/10 just through that section alone. Definitely got a lot more confidence Sergio has. His tyres are 3 laps fresher, which is also helping a little bit. It's got within DRS, it's going to help him call back. He's actually lost a lot of time now through that left-hander. He's actually lost DRS here, but he's gained a couple of tenths there, but he's taking a different line. Actually, Sergio got great grip out of that corner there. Fresh is using every single inch of his DRS, but so is Sergio. Both very, very low on DRS here. Just don't crash into that barrier. It's so easy to clash into it if you're not careful. Fresh was seen like flashing, knowing that he's also low on DRS himself. But Fresh is not, he's quite within DRS zone, but I think he might have just gained it. There he is, that's that DRS. Pete is all at the back of Mercury here. Mercury's got no pace at all. Both of them got some DRS to play with. It's coming down to the second to last lap, and looks like Pete is going to make the move on LS Mercury. LS Mercury's got nothing to ask for, and the only thing Mercury can do is to try and hold on for his victory by holding his second place by somehow re-overtaking him. It's Mercury's going to go around the outside and got the move done. I mean, I think the best thing Mercury can do if he wants to try and win this race, this one tactic, is to be behind Pete coming to the last corner, use DRS into there, overtake him to the last corner, and then try and get it to the line. Hope Pete doesn't get past him before the finish line. I hope Pete has a bad exit, and it's the same for the other way around. But they're going side by side. Fresh has got a penalty that's going to hurt him. Alpha is out of the race, but it's too late for any safety cars, and Mercury's had a contact on Pete. There is contact, and that's going to hurt Mercury to try and stay with Pete. He's now 8 tenths down. He's got to nail these last 2 corners. No, he hasn't. He's poor. That's poor. Mercury is out of DRS, and there goes Mercury's P2 if penalties are not going his way. And that's Mercury not even running with a victory, not even P2. It's going to be P3 here, and he's missing it. Mercury making a lot of mistakes. He's just dropped half a second. More to no flags. Fresh is retired, and Sergio's retired. There's been a crash. There's been a crash. Nice commiserations on the second to last lap. Just before the left kink, there must have been contact. They must have misread each other's actions as the track sweeps to the right before the left-hander. I wonder if they got caught mid-corner as the corner sweeps round, and one of them has got tangled and both got slammed into the barriers and spun out and crashed. But now it is the last lap. Mercury, who has lost all pace, he doesn't look like he's going to make any moves. Looks like he's lost his P2 unless it comes to penalties. Viper's got about 1 billion penalties, but he's got like a 40-second gap to 50-second gap to Fresh and to Maldi anyway. Mercury's just got another penalty, so that stops any. I think Mercury might have damage here. He's struggling a lot. I think Mercury might have damage because he's lost all pace. Yeah, I think he's got damage. I think Mercury's got damage. He's going way too slow. It's definitely damage on that Mercedes. Nothing visual, just that lime green damage. You can see how much he's struggling. Yeah, he's definitely got damage. And now Woozy Donut is climbing up the back of it, and there's annoyingly from Mercury, there's a couple of high-speed corners coming. He does have a bit of extra ERS to play with, but he's going to be so slow from here. Woozy Donut is going to make the move. I mean, the last thing Mercury can do now is to try and use DRS down into the last straight. Let's see who gets this. Mercury is going to inch behind, he's coming back, he's going to make sure not make anything easy for the Aston Martin, but Mercury's going to have a poor turning here. Woozy Donut gets a great exit, doesn't have any ERS left. Mercury has DRS and ERS, but it's going to be too far behind to regain any position. Mazepin wins the race, P2. Woozy Donut will get P3, Mercury will offset on penalties anyway. Pete will get P4, 18 seconds in the end. Absolutely insane how that gap just greased. Mazepin didn't have any penalties, that's probably the reason why. Maldi, who is on a completely other side of the circuit. Don't know what his strategy is, what he's happened, what damage he's got, and what tyres he's got on. Why he's on those tyres, why he didn't pit for a set of softs. Those tyres were 8 laps old when he pitted for the second time. So that's, well, his race was pretty much gone from pretty much lap 10. So we've still got a fight here actually for P7 here. For Cetas looking to try and get a move on Olivia. For Cetas has got, both of them got low ERS. For Cetas, Olivia has got a bit more. Olivia has got a bit more ERS to play with, but Olivia's got DRS. Is he going to make the move? Is he? He has! He's made it done. I'm not sure penalties took into account, but I think actually Olivia had got the move done anyway on track. I can't really see it from that camera angle. Apparently Maldi's got driver of the day, but to be honest, sorry Maldi, but it's not. And Mazepin looks like he's, for me, is his driver of the day. He was just untouchable all race. 2 safety cars. I'm not sure, it might be 1 actually. I can't actually remember. But anyway, managed to keep good restarts, did not lose that first place all race long, and it's a dominating and deserving victory there. Pete will get a brilliant P2, and Woozy Donut gets a surprise first podium, only I think it's his debut. So amazing stuff there from the Aston Martin driver there as well. Only half a second between them, so Woozy Donut could have got second place there. Mercury will drop down to P3 in the P4 in the end. Keaton Viper actually gets fastest lap, so there will be, I think, 1 point between the 2 drivers of Fresh and Mazepin. Viper got 50 seconds of penalties in the end. Smaldy didn't get any penalties, but too far behind to make anything count anyway. So yeah, so Mazepin's P1, Pete P2, Woozy Donut P3, Mercury P4, Viper P5 with the fastest lap, Maldi P6, Olivia V2 in P7, Facitas in P8, Hybrid P9, Sant P10, Sergio P11, Fresh P12, Alpha P13, and your DNS were Torpedo, Boulange, Andrada, Pirilop and Tovar. And that is your Saudi Arabian Grand Prix race here. There would not be any interviews, I believe. But yeah, as usual, please come back to us next week as we return to the track of Suzuka for the final rounds of Tier 1. There will not be a race the week after. Japan will be the last race of the season for Tier 1, so make sure you don't want to miss that in Japan for the finale for Tier 1. And then Tier 2 and Tier 3 will be back at Abu Dhabi for the second to last race of the season, and then there'll be Brazil after that. So we will see you next week, as always, and goodbye.